Yo, what's up guys, it's Seria here. Today I'm bringing you guys my Dragon Link deck profile. It's not budget, alright? Some of you may know me for doing budgets. This one is definitely not a budget deck, okay? don't think it is, but it's one of my favorite decks. Dragon Link never dies. It's a very good deck, Dragon Link Bystial. And I just want to show you guys what's up with this one. I was able to take it, 2 locals, going 4-0. Been consistently doing pretty well with the deck. I haven't really done bad with it, so that's something, I guess. But let's just get into the deck profile, and you guys can see what I have. Alright, starting off, we have the rocket engine, or for the main deck monsters, that is. Just 2 Tracer, 1 Synchron, 1 Recharger. You don't really need more than that. There's cases where you're like, oh man, I wish I had more. But a lot of the time, that's because you just had like a really bad hand. Like usually that's like the only reason why you would ever feel like you need more. I tested it out too, just it ended up not, or like another like recharger like Silver Rocket. I tried using it, it never really came up that I needed the second one. Like you have a lot of ways to add back your rockets from your grave, either by like using something like Branded Regained. There's just like a lot of different things you could do, so you don't really need more than this. It's pretty minimal, but you know, you don't want to like have too much in hand. All right, for these are technically just like Dark Dragon extenders, because like the other ones are like you use more for disruption. But one Nocto, one Abzerator. You only play Abzerator just because you might need it for adding a rocket using Ravine, and Nocto is just a good like chain blocking card, and also just replaces itself an in card advantage, so it's like pretty strong. But I wouldn't really play more because it's a card that needs specific cards already to be established. So like if you draw this like a handful of Bystials, that doesn't really do anything, so I don't really ever want to play more than just one. Alright, so for some of the chaos package stuff, of course you gotta play Safer. Safer is way better right now because you add back Lubellion. That's so good. Like sometimes I would do that just to get a free discard off of Ravine. There's a lot of things you can do with Safer, and of course always the classic Safer send itself to try and add one of the little dragons, and then when they try to ash you, you gamma them or whatever. Usually doesn't happen, but you know, it's a very strong card. This one you have to definitely play with the chaos stuff. MVP for my locals, Chaos Dragon Levianeer. Really strong. Was able to pop 2 Tikaboos by having exactly enough lights / darks in grave. So very strong card. You gotta play it, and a really strong follow up when you add up Magnamut. You guys don't need me to say anything, right? Alright, of course the new cards here. We're playing triple Lubellion. If you're playing Dragon Link Lubellion, I really do think you're gonna need all 3, because the Bystial engine is slightly specific when you try to get into it, and just hard drawing Lubellion works way better than it is trying to do some weird stuff like getting Safer than grave, then Dragon Revealing the Lubellion. Like you don't really want to do that. Like if you need to, then you can. The option's there, but like let's not do that and just hard draw it to get a lot of pluses off of it. So very strong card, and great chaos space target, because now we have a light target that's level 8, so it's pretty good. And of course the best level 6 Bystial, Magnamut. Very good. Always adding during end phase, and you summon this a lot of times. Like don't forget to resolve this, and don't forget to activate it, because you're going to be using it a lot in this deck. You kind of need to at this point, because Chaos Ruler isn't, you know, legal. So this is like your next best thing for Chaos Ruler's kind of like recursion that it gave, or just like, you know, hand advantage. You're gonna summon this a lot off like Seals, the continuous spell from Lubellion. Like you gotta use it a lot. And here, I'm only playing 2 Druid Worm. Personally, I never felt like I wanted the third. It is nice to draw it in like the tier matchup, but I guess my logos doesn't have that many tiers anyways. And Druid Worm is like, it's like okay, because you don't really want to send their cards to the graves for the most part. I don't know, it's a weird spot, but I think 2 has worked out for me. Like if I banish one, I still have one in deck to add, and like so forth, stuff like that. And then 1 Saronir, technically the worst one. doesn't really generate you anything unless you specifically get the trap set up. Then you can send the spell. But in other cases, if you don't have anything to send, I recommend just sending like another Lubellion if you're playing like the mirror match, because then you always have a Lubellion to be able to tribute in special summon if they don't interrupt your Bystial special. Then you always have an extra Lubellion to use because they have to just, you know, fire off their Bystial to banish it if they want to. Alright, on to the spells. We have a lot of good stuff here, guys. Chaos Space, like I said, nothing really to say here, right? Because, you know, now we have the Lubellion to add off this. You could play some of the other Chaos targets, I think, but Chaos Emperor Dragon Armageddon, he's actually a really good card. I would try him out. I also don't have the card, so that's something. But if you have the card, definitely try it out. It's very strong, by the way. It's just another recursion engine, and also kind of gives you like a lot more plays than you think with that card. Alright, 1-up spells, 1 branded regain. If you don't know what it does, make sure you read it, because it's pretty much infinite advantage generating for you every turn. So definitely read it. Make sure you activate this, because you're probably going to be able to activate this every single turn, maybe even both effects. So definitely look out for that. Ravine, engine requirement to use off of what is it? Abzerator, sending Abzerator to Adder Rockets, and in the fringe cases where you need where you want to get your Bystial engine rolling, if you already have a Saferd engraved, you can send a Lubellion and then add it back with Saferd if you ever need to do that. It does kind of suck sometimes, but at the end of the day, if you get your Bystial engine started, you get it started, you know. Boost Sector Launch, it's a Dragon Link deck, alright? Make sure you read the card if you really need an explanation on what it does. Quick Launch. Summon a rocket from deck. Freest extender ever. Alright, for the Ghost Seconds cards here, we have some Dark Rulers right here. Definitely going to want to be playing something like this. I decided on Dark Ruler because it hits the Flunder match at least somewhat for me. And also, there's a lot of rogue decks that set up like 10 negates and Dark Ruler outs the whole board. Like, I went up against Dinos sometimes, and they have like Apollousa, Tyranno, Lagia, and like Dolka, and I'm like, what the freak? I can't. No one can play through that unless you have Dark Ruler. So there's that for because there's a lot of rogue decks at the local scene still. Triple attack because there's a lot of people on the Bystial stuff themselves. So if they Bystial you, you're like, that's fine. I'm gonna draw 2 to get a better end board, or I'm gonna look at your hand. So it's really strong, this format, because everyone's just on the Bystials. And then of course, engine card for the Trap Branded Beast. If you haven't read this one either, make sure you read it, because the spell and trap are really good. Like, for a continuous spell or continuous trap to be used, it's gotta be pretty strong. And this one is definitely really strong. You're most of the time gonna be using this and setting this up off for your Lubellion. There are some matchups where I decided to go for the spell instead of the trap, but for the most part, you would just go for the trap, because it's like a mine out, and it just does a lot of stuff for you. Yeah, and just like I said, generates a lot with the spell card. The spell card being infinite advantage, and then the trap card being infinite disruption. With the spell card, it's very, very strong. Then triple Imperm. I know some people have been thinking that Imperm's going to conflict with the Bystials, but when you really look at it, they really don't. Like, I don't know, you guys know what I'm saying? Like, like say you're going up against Tyr, right? You're gonna just Imperm the Kit Kalos, and then you just Bystial banish whatever else is after that, right? So most of the time, from what I've been like playing and like seeing, is I'm gonna Imperm before I Bystial. So I don't know, that's just me. Also, it just works going first while you're at it, because you can set it. So yeah. All right, on to the extra deck, Striker Dragon. Add boot. All right, to link 1, and also, if you guys don't know the second effect, make sure you read the second effect, because you actually use it a lot now. Going for Recharger, getting that effect to go off. Yeah, you definitely got to play this. Pisty, you actually use this a lot in the combo line. There is one specific combo line that you will go for a lot, so there's that to go for. Seals, I actually kind of want to bump this up to 2, but if you manage your resources well enough, you don't need the second one. So I'd rather use the second one, or rather use the extra X spot for something else rather than that. So I don't think you need the second one, but it's not a bad option because this is a really good card right now. Quad Boral, part of the combo to get to Borrowland plus Savage, and also the pop effect. Make sure you don't forget how that works. IP, because there's weird boards where you end up getting dark locked, so you can't make seals, and a unicorn ends up being a better disruption than some other cards. So that's why you want to go IP in some scenarios. You definitely have to play 1. I don't think I would ever cut this card right now as it stands because I've actually used it quite a bit. So I don't know. Right now it's really good though. Romulus, add Dragon Ravine, just an engine card. Nothing to say there. Dangerous is, I don't know if people have been keeping up with the Dragon Link deck profiles, if you guys have been keeping up, but this is part of the combo line also for getting into the Borrowland plus Savage. You definitely gotta play it if you want to go for it. I don't see why you wouldn't, because it's a pure Dragon Link kind of deck, so yeah. Dark, this card's insane. There's so many darks in the game right now. Triple Burst. Pretty necessary. It doesn't really feel too good to always to have to play this, but it does come up when it does come up. So Unicorn, because we play IP, and also kind of helps us get around specific cards that we don't really want to destroy, if that makes sense what I'm saying. Access code, you will never see this be irrelevant, so yeah, access code. Borrowland, pretty cheap card for how good this card is. You definitely want to summon this in those meta matchups because some of them have to do very specific outs to them. Like they have to use their traps and their spells. They can't pop it. They had to negate with something like specifically disposal traps. You can't monster target this. It's just really good, and also it's just disruption. It's just more advantage. Like it's everything you need. Synchros, Borload Savage, free negates, pretty much. Remember, it doesn't destroy though. Alright, I don't know. Some people just don't know that it doesn't destroy. This one just negates activation. Alright, make sure you guys remember that. Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend, because I don't have Barone. Alright, this is probably should be Barone, and then this goes to the side deck. But I didn't have to make it yet, but time reasons. Come on. And Wallow. This card is really good. Definitely give this card a read if you haven't yet. It's a very, very strong card. Especially in like the tier matchup as of right now, it's very strong. Give it a read. All right, I don't think you need me to explain it. It just kind of facilitates all of your disruption, honestly, and gives you something to go into with your Bystials, because it doesn't really feel good to just make a link 2 with the Bystials. Like something like this is very strong. All right, you may be wondering, where's Hieratic Dragon Atum? I never felt like I needed it. Like if I don't know, I just didn't need it. Like if I had 2 level 6s on board, I'm trying to kill, right? Like and Wallow definitely helps you get there to killing someone, because it's just so much attack boosting. I'd rather play it over Atum. I don't know. Maybe you guys have felt like Atum has come up for you, but it has not come up for me yet. And then the side deck, remember guys, this is kind of specific to your locals for the most part. You know, like I said, but Cosmic Cyclone, could play 3. I didn't feel like I needed 3. There's not really much reason to that. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff I want to side, but I don't want to side too much back row hate, and also the trap card kind of handles some back row for you, you know. But 2 Cyclones. Cyclone's still good this format though. Definitely play Cyclone. To win, not Twin Twister, Feather Duster. Not much else to say about this one. You guys already know. We hate back row, right guys? Definitely still one of the most broken cards in the game, evenly matched. Do I really need to say anything about it? Like some boards just can't handle unevenly, including the Dragon Link board. If they have double evenly, we're screwed. All right, that's we're not completely screwed, but we lose like definitely a lot of our disruption. We still actually have some after that. The Gamma package. I side the Gamma package because I'm mostly only scared for the Flunder matches, and in that matchup, I actually side out a bunch of my Bystial stuff. in favor for the Gamma package, so make sure I stop the D shifter. Just a really good hand trap. I don't really think there's room to main deck it, in my opinion. It's kind of hyper specific, but it does also feel really good to get a Gamma off on your turn. But the main reason is, you know, Chaos Ruler isn't legal, so the best cards to go into off this are like Link 2s now. So I felt like it'd be a better go second side deck card. I don't know. That also works going first if you're playing against a shifter deck, but yeah. Droll, because there's a lot of rogue decks out there still going crazy. Like if you look at Drytron just comes out of nowhere sometimes, and we gotta have all the hate for that deck. You gotta have all the Bystials, the Drolls, all that crap. Definitely very, very strong. Actually works against something like Sprite too, because they add a bunch, like a lot. So yeah, I mean, just take certain Sprite variants do that. So this is still pretty good against like the meta. It's also good against another Dragon Link player. So it does hurt when you have to like when you want to Magnamut, but you gotta decide if it's Magnamut or Droll in those cases. And 2 Nib. This could be where I switch off like a Nib for another Cosmic and a Nib for Pankratops. I just felt like I needed more actionable cards against like the rogue decks that set up like super boards. So yeah, that's pretty much it. You could just also play Mine too, but maybe not on Mine. I don't know. Alright guys, so that's it for the deck profile. I'll have some gameplay up later. Don't really want to edit the gameplay yet. I do have just a little bit like a match. Just to show you guys, you know, what this deck can do, because it can do a lot. Wow. It's like a lot of decisions. You gotta make a lot of decisions on, do you want to make a board, or do you want to, you know, end on a semi-decent board, have stuff in hand, go hard next turn. You gotta think about that, because, you know, like this deck isn't so autopilot-y without Chaos Ruler and all that. So yeah, I mean, that's the deck. Let me know what you guys think, like I said, and what deck will you guys be playing in the next format, because it's not gonna go well for a lot of us. So yeah, that's gonna be it for me, guys. I'll see you guys later, right? Peace out.